Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer. Prayer is power. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. 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 When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. 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 Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Prayer is power. When you pray, then you are in touch with your higher consciousness. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Pray. Pray. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. Prayer is power. What are you going to do? Pray. Pray. Pray.
A very warm welcome to everyone to Dr. Pillai's Religion of Religions YouTube channel. Today is Monday, September 19th, 2022, and we're about to do a live in-depth planetary puja using the chart of now, based on my current location, which right now is here in New Mexico, the state of New Mexico within the United States. My name is Swamini Valli. I am a Pillai Center teacher and an AstroVed astrologer, and I'm very happy to be hosting these calls Monday through Friday on this channel. Dr. Pillai has said that the planets and stars are more than just objects in outer space. There is a divine light being associated with all of them. And when we do the puja, we are connecting with these light beings and inviting their positive blessings to flow into us and into our world. We also contain all of these planets and stars within our own being as well. And as we do the puja, you may have moments of seeing or moments of feeling or moments of understanding. And all of these are valid modes of perception. The chart that we're using is based on the South Indian style layout. Each of the 12 little boxes here represents a particular zodiac sign. And let me go back one. The layout is based on my location here in New Mexico for where the planets and stars are at the moment. So I have on a side table, I have a blackboard with this chart drawn on it in chalk. And then I'm going to be offering flower petals as we do the various mantras as we go along. And when I say Namaha, I'm going to be putting a flower petal in the appropriate place on top of the little blackboard chart as we go along. You're welcome to do the puja with me at home or just listen to it and in the background as you're going about your day doing some other things. Dr. Pillai has said the names of all of these beings is a quantum sound or a mantra. So even just hearing the sounds is something that will have a positive effect on our consciousness. I also have on the side, I have a lit tea light, I have a hand fan, and I also have a bell. And I have a little container with fresh water. And I'll start with first dipping the ring finger of my right hand into the little container of water and sprinkling a few drops of water on each side of the blackboard, creating a sacred space for the puja. I'll put a few drops of water on my own head, and then I'll send a few drops of water out towards space, towards all of you. So whether you're watching it live or watching it later on a replay, we're all participating with a sense of sacred ground and a sense of being purified for the puja. Next, I'm going to invoke Ganesha, an archetype who removes obstacles, with the mantra Om Sring Gung, S-R-I-N-G, G-U-N-G. Om Sring Gung. Om Sring Gung. Om Sring Gung. We ask Ganesha to come and to remove all obstacles from this puja and to remove all obstacles from our day or our evening. And we thank him for his help with this. Next, I'll do a short Tamil chant asking all of the planets to be beneficial towards us. I have put a link up above in the chat for this chant if you're unfamiliar with it. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avar Kumikave. Asura Nalla Nalla, Ave Nalla Nalla, Atiyar Avarku Mikave. We ask all of the planets to be beneficial today towards us and towards our world. We thank Saint Gnanasamunda for teaching this chant, and we are grateful to Dr. Pillai for sharing it with us. Now, we turn our attention to the chart of the moment. Dr. Pillai said we would always start with whatever sign is the current ascendant. Here on this chart, that's represented with the letters AC for ascendant. And at the moment, this is the sign that's coming up on the eastern horizon right now in my local area. And that's in the sign of Kanya or Virgo. He said we would begin with honoring the planet that rules the ascendant sign. That happens to be Mercury. We'll honor Mercury, and I'll put the flower petals on him as we chant. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Then, starting with the ascendant sign, we're going to honor the various planets. We'll honor the stars that they are in, the archetype that rules those stars, the planet that rules those stars, and we're also going to invoke the planet that rules the sign that the zodiac sign that planets are in. However, we're first going to honor the time elements of the moment, which I should have done before honoring the planet that rules the ascendant. We're going to honor the planet that rules the day, the star that the moon is in right now, the Tithi or the moon phase, the planet that rules the hour in this location. And we'll also honor the time elements of the yoga and the Karana. We start with honoring the planet that rules the day, which is the moon. Today is Monday, ruled by the moon. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Next, we honor the star that the moon is in. The moon right now is in a star called Purnavasu, which has energies that are very freedom-loving. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Next, we honor the Tithi or the moon phase. Right now in my area, we are in the 10th waning moon, which is called Dasami in Sanskrit. Dr. Pillai said we would use the Sanskrit name of the moon phase, followed by the word Devi, which invokes the light being associated with this moon phase. Om Dasami Devye Namaha. Om Dasami Devye Namaha. Om Dasami Devye Namaha. Next, we invoke the planet that rules the hour. In this location here, we are in an hour ruled by Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we are going to honor the yoga and the Karana time elements. Dr. Pillai said for these, we wouldn't use flower petals. We would just say their names 3 times each. The yoga that's active right now is one called Varian, which has energies of luxurious comfort. Varian, Varian, Varian. And the Karana that's active right now is one called Venetia, which has energies that are mercantile. Venetia, Venetia, Venetia. Now we go back to the chart of the moment. We've already honored Mercury for being in the ascendant sign ruler. Now we're going to honor the 2 planets that are in Virgo, the Sun and Mercury. The Sun moved into Virgo since last Friday when we last did a puja here. So he's in a new location today. And Mercury is retrograde, so he's moved back into a star that he was in previously. They're both in the same star. So we'll honor both of these planets before I honor the star. I'll start with honoring the Sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Next, we honor Mercury, who is retrograde, for being in Virgo. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. The Sun and Mercury are both in a star called Uttara Palguni, which is one of the stars with relationship energy. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals across the Sun and Mercury. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Om Uttara Palgunaye Namaha. Uttara Palguni star is ruled by an archetype called Aryaman. He rules contracts, keeping one's word, having a sense of integrity and honor. Honor is when there is a line we just don't cross. We honor Aryaman, and I put the flower petals across the Sun and Mercury. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Om Aryamanye Namaha. Uttara Palguni is ruled by the Sun. Again, we honor the Sun, and I put the flower petals across both. I put the flower petals on the Sun. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kanya or Virgo, a very detail-oriented zodiac sign, one that can help us with analysis and numbers. Today containing the Sun, which is our soul and also a planet important for our health, and Mercury, which is a planet of communication and also a planet in charge of all forms of buying and selling. And in the modern age, he's the planet for electronics and computers. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Tula or Libra. We're going in a clockwise direction now around the chart. And today in Tula or Libra is Ketu, the planet. So we're going to honor him, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Om Ketave Namaha. Ketu is in a star called Vishaka, a star that can give blessings for victory and triumph. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Om Vishakaye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by a pair of archetypes, Indra and Agni. Indra can give blessings for leadership and courage, and Agni can give blessings for transformation and purification. We honor both of them, and I put the flower petals on Ketu. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Om Indra Agniye Namaha. Vishaka star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Libra, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Tula or Libra, a sign with energies of balance, fairness, harmony, today containing Ketu, sometimes called the saintly planet. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign, going in a clockwise direction that has a planet in it, is Makara or Capricorn, which today contains Pluto, who is retrograde, and also Saturn, who is retrograde. I'm including the three outer planets because this year Dr. Pillai commissioned statues for the three outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. And he had those statues energized in fire labs and then placed into his temple in Chennai. So we're using the mantras that were used in those fire labs to energize the statues. For Pluto, we're using the mantra Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Om Krum Kruntankaya Namaha. Pluto is in a star called Uttarashada. This is a star that can give blessings for long-lasting success. I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Om Uttarashadaye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the 10 Visvadevas, 10 archetypes who each embody a particular, unique, divine, universal principle. We ask for blessings from all 10 of them, and I put the flower petals on Pluto. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Om Visvadevasye Namaha. Uttarashada star is ruled by the sun. I honor the sun and put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Next, we honor Saturn for being in Capricorn. Saturn is retrograde at the moment. When planets are retrograde, they are extra powerful. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Saturn is in a star called Dhanishta. This is a star that can give blessings for prosperity, music, and good reputation. We honor this star, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Danishtaye Namaha. Om Danishtaye Namaha. Om Danishtaye Namaha. Danishta star is ruled by the 8 Vasus, 8 light beings who each rule different spheres of existence. We honor all 8 of them, and I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Om Vasusye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Danishta star, which is Mars. I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Capricorn, which is Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Makara or Capricorn, a sign that can activate ancient past life skills and abilities, today containing Pluto, a planet that can help us with science and rationality, and Saturn, a planet that can give blessings for patience, perseverance, discipline, organization, and compassion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Kumbha or Aquarius, which today contains Neptune retrograde. We honor Neptune and we use the mantra Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Om Vam Varunaye Namaha. Neptune is in a star called Purva Bhadrapada, a star that can give blessings for purification, and a star that has the energy of Kundalini, fire. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Purva Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Purva Bhadrapada star is ruled by Aja Ekapada, an archetype who can help us to experience deeper levels of silence, stillness, and forgiveness. I put the flower petals on Neptune. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Om Aja Ekapadaye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Purva Bhadrapada star, which is Jupiter. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Kumbha or Aquarius, which is Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. Om Sanishwaraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Kumbha or Aquarius, the most humanitarian of all the zodiac signs, today containing Neptune, a planet that can help us with intuition and our ability to understand our own inner life. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Meena or Pisces, which today contains Jupiter, and Jupiter is retrograde. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Jupiter is in a star called Uttara Bhadrapada. Dr. Pillai says this is a star that can help us with business development. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Om Uttara Bhadrapadaye Namaha. Uttara Bhadrapada star is ruled by an archetype called Arbundia, who can help with guarding treasures and valuables. We ask him to guard our treasures and valuables, including even the earth, which is certainly one of our treasures. I put the flower petals on Jupiter. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Om Arbundiaye Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Uttara Bhadrapada star, which is Saturn. I put the flower petals on Saturn. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Om Sanisharaya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Meena or Pisces, which is Jupiter. I put more flower petals on Jupiter and we say his mantra. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Meena or Pisces, the most transcendental and metaphysical of all the zodiac signs, today containing Jupiter, planet who helps with everything related to spirituality, as well as can give blessings for wealth and help with things related to banking or legal matters. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Misha or Aries, which today contains Rahu and Uranus retrograde. Both of those planets are in the same star, so we'll invoke both the planets before we invoke the star. We start with Rahu. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Om Rahave Namaha. Next, we honor Uranus, who is retrograde, and for him, we use the mantra Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Om Hram Prajapataye Namaha. Rahu and Uranus are both in a star called Bharani, a star that has a tremendous amount of divine feminine Shakti or energy or power. I place the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Om Bharaniye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Yama, who is an archetype of justice. I place the flower petals across Rahu and Uranus. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Om Yamaye Namaha. Bharani star is ruled by Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Aries, which is Mars. I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Om Mangalaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Misha or Aries, a fire sign with very active energies, today containing Rahu, a planet that can help us make friends with new technologies, and a planet that helps us to think outside the box, and Uranus, a planet of intelligence, innovation, and also a planet that helps us with astrology. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Vrishabha or Taurus, which today contains Mars. We honor Mars, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Om Mangalaya Namaha. Mars is in a star called Rohini, a star of beauty. We honor Rohini star, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Om Rohinihe Namaha. Rohini is ruled by an archetype called Brahma, an archetype of creation and creativity. We honor him, and I put the flower petals on Mars. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Om Brahmaye Namaha. Rohini star is ruled by the moon. I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Taurus, which is Venus. I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Vrishabha or Taurus, a grounded and luxury-loving sign, today containing Mars, a planet that likes to take practical action and solve problems, and also a planet of passion. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with the planet in it is Mithuna or Gemini, which today contains the moon. We honor the moon, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. Om Chandraya Namaha. The moon is in a star called Purnavasu, a star that has energies of being freedom-loving. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Om Purnavasaye Namaha. Purnavasu star is ruled by an amazing goddess called Aditi. She's actually the mother of many of the archetypes, including our own sun. We honor her, and I put the flower petals on the moon. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Om Aditye Namaha. Purnavasu star is ruled by Jupiter. We honor Jupiter, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Om Gurave Namaha. Now we honor the planet that rules Gemini, which is Mercury. I put the flower petals on Mercury. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. Om Buddhaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Mithuna or Gemini, a sign with a great range of energies, today containing the moon, which is our mind and our emotions. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. The next Rasi or sign with a planet in it is Simha or Leo, which today contains Venus. We honor Venus, and I put the flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Venus is in a star called Purva Phalguni. This is a star that has energies to help us with relationships, and also a star with blessings for rest and relaxation. We honor Purva Phalguni, and I put the flower petals on Venus. Om Purva Phalgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Phalgunaye Namaha. Om Purva Phalgunaye Namaha. Purva Phalguni star is ruled by Bhagya, an archetype who can give good fortune. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Om Bhagyaye Namaha. Purva Phalguni star is ruled by Venus. Again, we honor Venus. I put more flower petals on him. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Om Shukraya Namaha. Simha or Leo is ruled by the sun. We honor the sun. I put the flower petals on him. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. Om Suryaya Namaha. We pause for a moment and reflect on Simha or Leo, a sign of power and leadership energies, today containing Venus. Among the planets, Venus is sometimes called the diplomat. Venus is also a planet of happiness and a planet that helps us to enjoy material plane comforts and the arts. We pause for a moment and reflect on this. Now, I'm taking a lit tea light and holding it above the little blackboard that has the chart and all these little piles of flower petals on it. I hold the tea light in the air and I circle it above the chart 3 times in a clockwise direction, offering the element of light to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked. Next, I take a hand fan and I'm going to wave this gently around the chart 3 times, offering the element of air and a cooling breeze. And finally, I will ring a bell, offering the element of sound. Now I make prayer hands and make a sincere prayer to all of these divine beings that we have just invoked, asking them to send their blessings into the lives of all of us, into the lives of our families, our friends, our neighbors, our colleagues, our homes, our workplaces, our schools, our communities, our countries, and indeed the entire planet. May everyone on this planet have healthy food to eat, clean water to drink, clean air to breathe, a safe place to live, good clothes to wear, access to health care, good education, sustainable jobs, and may everyone have love in their life now and always. I pray for enlightened leaders, enlightened citizens, enlightened laws, enlightened countries, and entire enlightened civilizations. I pray for blessings for all of my teachers, past, present, and to come. And I pray for blessings for all of my students, past, present, and to come. And I make a bow. You can continue to make your own prayers for a minute in silence, and then we can do short Q&A. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Peace to the body, peace to the mind, peace to the soul, peace to the environment. Peace, peace, peace. May you all go about your day or your evening in peace. Thank you so much for joining us. We truly appreciate your participation and support. I have time right now to answer a few questions if you want to post them in the chat, and I'll do my best to try to answer them. And again, thank you everyone for being here, whether you post in the chat or not. We definitely appreciate your presence here. Evelyn is asking in the chat, what does it mean when we say a planet is retrograde? What it means is that from our point of view on Earth, it appears as though that planet is going backwards in its orbit. It's not really going backwards, but relative to our orbit and the way that planet's orbit looks from our point of view here on Earth, it looks like to us like that planet is now moving backwards for a bit. And when that planet appears like that, the energy of that planet does become more powerful. And when a planet is more powerful, sometimes that can expose maybe any holes that we might have in areas that that planet has agenda for. For example, Mercury. Sometimes when Mercury is retrograde, people might experience some issues with things like computers or things that Mercury is in charge of. However, it's not that Mercury is being mean. It's like if you had a little garden hose and it has a small hole in it, but when the water is just turned on very lightly, you don't really feel sprayed by water. But if you turn the garden hose on full blast, then all of a sudden the water is squirting out of that hole. It's our holes that are activated sometimes when a planet is retrograde, meaning maybe they show us we have to pay more attention to some of the areas that they're in charge of. But they can also give very strong blessings when they're retrograde as well. So that's what it is. Just technically, it just means from our point of view on Earth, it looks like they're moving backwards. For example, Mercury last week was in the star of Hasta. Now, from our point of view on Earth, it looks like he's moved backwards into the star of Uttar Phalguni. So that's what it means. And then when they go direct from our point of view on Earth, it looks like they're moving forward again. So I hope that helps you to understand. Okay. Any other question today in the chat? Please explain the impact of the sun transit into Virgo or Kanya. Okay, so the sun moving into Virgo, Virgo is a very practical sign. The symbol for it is a woman in a boat. She's carrying a light and a sheaf of grain. And that's a very elaborate or complex symbol because a woman, there's feminine energy, the boat, that implies water and perhaps a bit of movement. A sheaf of grain. Grain is very important for diet in many cultures like rice or wheat. And a light, of course, has a lot of symbolism of, being on the right path and lighting up intelligence, etc. So the sun moving into this sign of Virgo is illuminating the qualities that are in Virgo, and the sun is our soul. So during this time that the sun is in Virgo, it's a time for us to perhaps be practical with our own lives. And it's also a time for us to perhaps look at how we're managing all the details of our daily life. But it also can be lighting up some of the other qualities of Virgo, the ability to be logical, the ability to be analytical, the ability to do well with computers. Could be like a good time to buy a new computer if somebody, or a tablet or a phone, if someone was thinking of getting a new device like that. It can be a good time for other practical things. Perhaps someone needs to clean out their closet or their garage. It just gives a little bit more energy for taking care of, some of the basic housekeeping, if you will, in our own lives. But it also gives this ability to be very rational as well. There's a rational quality to, and an organizational quality to Virgo that the sun could be illuminating during this time. So, in some places, people might be doing their fall cleaning or their spring cleaning, for example. We have the equinox coming up later this week. And so the sun, being in Virgo as we go through the equinox, there is this, in some cultures, the fall cleaning if you're in the northern hemisphere, or spring cleaning if you're in the southern hemisphere. The sun energy actually helps provide energy for that type of momentum. So I hope that explains that to a bit. Anuradha is saying, multiverse is a new term in use right now. And can you throw some light on it? I'm not sure about multiverse, as I'm not sure I know what that means beyond the realm of the superheroes in the comic book series crossing into each other's stories. I'm not sure. I mean, in our own universe, of course, there are multiple galaxies. There are also multiple dimensions beyond just the physical dimension. The archetypes that are living in planes of light are living in a different kind of realm than we are at the moment. We're in a physical realm here on Earth. Even though we are light beings ourselves, we have, for some reason, elected to take a body to be experiencing the physical plane. So multiverse, it's not a term that I am familiar with in astrology, but I don't know the context. You might have to give me a sentence. Where can we look out for what the planet is in charge of? I don't know where that is summarized for you. Let me get back to you on that tomorrow, Evelyn. I think there are some places either on the Pillai Center site or on the AstroVed site where you could see a little bit about what each planet has as some of their agenda. All of the planets are in charge of many, many things. So it won't be a comprehensive listing, but it could give you some ideas of some of the things that they have agenda for. Let me see if I can get some links to put into the chat for you tomorrow, Evelyn, for that. Okay, that's a good question. All right, I think I've tried to answer the questions that are put in the chat. I hope I've answered them somewhat to your satisfaction. I want to be always respectful of your time. And again, thank you so much for being here. Namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. May light encompass all. Have a beautiful day. Hope to see some of you again tomorrow.